Hello, welcome to Art and Leisure. We told you we'll be back in 7 days' time, and God has given us the grace to do so. Apart from showing you what creative people have done, we will also inspire you. So, let's go on this jolly ride together for just half an hour. Christopher Amaoh is waiting in the wings to recite his poem. My name is Chioma Okwara. Stay.
The title of my poem is Echo Glowing with Pride. Their worries, the first sons of Echo, lived with all in peace and harmony, embraced the Almighty beneath power with love, welcomed the ceremony without strife or frown. You have told the world the lesson of love and accommodation, to be hospitable and generous, come with me. You are the focal point of Nigeria. You generate a great portion of our GDP, increasing it annually by 7%. Your taxation now exceeds 92 million per month. You have the highest number of millionaires in the country. You handle 80% of her imports above all other states. Nigeria without you is like fish without water. The greatest minds pay homage to you, for their success lie at the palm of your hands. If I lie, please ask Dangote, the richest man in Africa. Your roads are getting better and every street's neater. You win the race and become the best among the equals. Your greatness is not a facade. No be so pancake. The fragrance of your success bears witness to this. Thank you.
Good to have you back. Lagos State will be 50 years old next year, but we're already in the celebration mood. 50 children painted, drew, wrote poems and essays in the last phase of the Vision of the Child Painting and Literary Arts competition. The award ceremony was well put together. Children and their parents grinned from ear to ear as many of the youngsters were rewarded handsomely for their efforts. Take a look. The governor and deputy of Lagos State are seated. Other prominent people in society are also here.
Make their entrance to the stage. These are the beautiful ones.
They're the reason why this event was put together. Out of 500 children who participated in this year's edition of the Vision of the Child Painting and Literary Arts competition, only these 50 made it to the grand finale. Some of them recited the poems and essays.
Eko is the only state that shows her mighty self. Everybody loves Eko because it's a place to be.
The British thought that they had outmatched me, but they have grown and unkeepable. I am sure that you continue to age. Your eyes is the satellite that is and healthy.
Those who painted explained their paintings.
My painting depicts the coat of arms of Lagos State, with the four colors and background. From the upper left and right side of the painting shows good roads, electricity, housing, security, which the helicopter represents.
First, City Eko is very beautiful, vibrant, and full of life. She represents Lagos. She is very beautiful, and the colors on her face that I have drawn on my painting represent the diversity in Lagos, the different people and their cultures.
Two of the past winners are masters of ceremony.
This is the 5th edition of the Vision of the Heart, being aging gracefully on an ancestral pathway.
All their talents were put on display. The governor praised them for their creativity.
We begin this Jubilee celebration with the next generation of Lagos, our children. We have put forward entries for the Vision of the Child competition. The Vision of the Child initiative is aimed at promoting true creative thinking, literary arts, and painting skills.
Professor Wole Soyinka and Chief Rashid Gbadamosi also spoke highly of the children. Partners say they have no regrets being involved in this.
It's been an honor to support this initiative since its inception. Because of its focus on the youth, which is a critical segment for us, we aim to build banking and financial awareness very early on by supporting initiatives that develop creativity and an appreciation of arts and culture in our youth.
Our CSR is to improve the lives of citizens. Our CSR is to improve education for our children, because these are the people that we provide products for.
Stephanie Okereke-Linus, a star actress, is their role model and ambassador. Timida Kolo and Adeboyega and the 10 Strings Band performed to the delight of the audience. The vision of the Child Painting and Literary Arts Competition is Lagos-based. Every year since 2012, children aged between 8 and 12 are told to write essays, poems, draw and paint. The theme for this year's edition is Siseko at 50, aging gracefully on a susu pancake. Here are the winners.
Tamara Baby Akika. So from Agara, she gets a tablet from the Lagos State government and a check of 50,000 naira. Akwarandu and Marie Oluwadara Akiboboye. Going on with a beautiful check of 150,000 naira. Favor Uti. In the painting category, Christine Chisom Ihemuna, Fadeyi Bisola, Joy Anthony, Annabelle Adeyinka, Sophie Okonkwo. This is the superstar for tonight. Going home with a check of 250,000 naira. Emmanuel Richard.
Some of them share their excitement with us.
I'm excited. I feel great.
Foluke George, the project director, says she's raising leaders the nation will be proud of. Good to have you back. Indeed, things are looking up for the arts sector. From literary and visual arts, let's go over to theatre. Wakaa the Musical is the creation of a Nigerian, directed and acted by Nigerians. It's been shown here in the country and it received a thunderous applause. Now, it's time to export it to London. Watch this. Wakaa the Musical tells the Nigerian story. The stage play covers politics, struggles and challenges of young people and life in general.
Let me make something very clear. If you vote me as governor of this state, I will ensure free education. Yes. Free hospital care. Yes. Free water. Free electricity. Free life.
It was shown in Lagos for 5 days. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council sees it as a good product.
We are getting revenue, and apart from that, we are changing orientation about the values of Nigerians. Nigeria Export Promotion Council is the sole agency responsible for promotion of non-oil export. For us, the creative art is a service, export of service. And we know Nigeria has deficit of foreign exchange now, so everything that is exportable, that is well packaged, is what we support for export. And the service is a multi-billion dollar market that we have not explored. So creative arts fall into services, and the way it's being packaged by Wakaa Musical is great.
Wakaa the Musical will be shown in London between 21st and 25th July this year.
If you look at Nigeria's history, there's a relationship between Nigeria and England. I think that there's a natural affiliation in anything that we do, that Nigerians typically look at London as their second home. There's also a very large concentration of Nigerians in London. So we felt that if we're going to take Wakaa out, or any of our productions out of Lagos, it would be nice to go to a place where we have a critical mass of Nigerians and Africans.
The actors are excited about this.
We're going to really showcase who we are, really tell our story and let them appreciate Nigeria and Nigerians and the talents that we have, and basically just do a fantastic job of it as well.
As Nigerians, we're very fond of making fun of ourselves, and in any situation, we'll always laugh. And I think that people know that in general, so being able to showcase that fully on stage, being who we are, really completely exhibiting the beauty of our music, our dancing, our fashion, our storytelling, production, our directing, you know, all these skills that people don't even bother to, can't even imagine that we have.
No stone will be left unturned.
For me, joining up with Wakaa, something you're going to definitely see is our culture. There are some scenes where you're going to see the use of our showcase, the use of our cultural print, you know, things that are very different from what people don't necessarily will see. You have to remember again, this is theatre, it's theatrical arts mixed with fashion, and definitely you're going to see beautiful African fashion on stage in the Wakaa productions.
The audience that will see this play will be people of different ages, backgrounds and races.
I think that because our stories are also similar across Africa, it will resonate with the average African in London. So we're looking at the Afro-Caribbean community, as well as a lot of expatriates and Europeans who have lived in Africa kind of have this relationship with us, and we're looking at that audience as well. So we're cutting across in a way.
Nigeria has received bad publicity in the past. Wakaa the Musical will put the country in good light.
The first thing that Wakaa would achieve for us, apart from the cultural experience that people will get and the showcasing of our expertise, our dexterity in dance and music, our beautiful culture and costumes. Apart from that, the most critical factor is the fact that people will understand that the average Nigerian is not corrupt. You said, Cameron said something about Nigeria. The politicians that they're referring to are in the minority. We're 150 million plus people. When you see a play like Wakaa and you see what happens to the politician that was corrupt, and you see that he was booted out of office, right? You recognize that this is not what we Nigerians want for ourselves. And that is why it's important that we also start telling our stories and not let people start labeling us as a group, because one tree does not make a forest. And that is what is happening here in Nigeria. They label all of us based on the one or two individuals that have more or less corrupted our names. So the message we are driving across is that corruption is not something that we all embrace. Get-rich-quick syndrome is not something that we all embrace. Even leaving Nigeria to go and live abroad is not something that we're all encouraging. That there's a lot that we can achieve if we all stay back home in Nigeria to build our country.
This administration is interested in the promotion of non-oil exports. Hopefully, the 70-man cast and crew will come back with testimonies after Wakaa's 5-day outing in London. Welcome back. Non-oil export is a source of huge revenue for the country, so more people should get interested in that. Now to our last report. Niger Delta is known for its rich oil soil, but that's not all there is to that region. 5 photographers allowed their lenses zoom into other areas. Stick around. Ebiware Oki lives in Benin. The city is known for the splendor of the Benin Royal festivals and courtly outings.
A lot of people don't regard Edo State as Niger Delta, since it's not like oil, but is Niger Delta, and that is why I'm trying to represent the culture of the Edo people. This is during the Igwe festival. Basically, the chief carrying the Ewere leaf wrapped in the mat. There's a very high-placed chief in the palace, being watched by other chiefs. It's called a Yoruba. This is where they do some traditional rites, where all the staffs of all the past Obas are. So they go like pay homage to all the past Obas and the present Oba. I consciously made the work, took the work as a silhouette because I wanted just the colors and the ebe, which represents the Benin staff.
Israel Ohori resides in Uheli. He enjoys being called a roving documentary photographer. He allows his camera zoom in on happenings in Urobo, Ishekiri, and Ijo communities of the western Niger Delta.
This first one here is talking about the Life Creek, where the oil comes from, but I'm not looking at it negatively. They are happy this way in the creek. Every day they go out with grandmother or their mother to go out for fish. As you can see, the two little small boys, almost naked on the boat, sailing with their grandma, mom. For me, it's simple life. This one is about Urobo cultural dance, Emma dance, one of the most popular dance of the Urobo people. This is a day they celebrate King Koko Day. If you can remember the Akasa reed, the King Koko is from Nembe, so they set aside a particular day, they celebrate the man's day. This one, they call it Amaoh Fukumo, masquerade in Baramatu Kingdom.
Tuoyo Omagba is the voice of the voiceless. From his base in Asaba, he tells the story of social inequality.
This set of kids here, they're going to school. It's not every family in those rural communities that have the access of canoes for their kids to go to school. I was on my way back from Escravos and I saw the family, and what struck me was how they were all just happy looking at people on speedboats because they don't have engines in their own canoe. But they have something, a sail made out of polythene that they use in supporting their canoe. This a lady with her two kids, and you'll be wondering where's the second kid here. She's inside this, and that's the feeding bottle. And she's just pulling her fishing strings, trying to check on if there's any catch. Gas flaring has been abolished, but it's still being done in most parts of the Niger Delta.
Perez Tigidam, a resident of Port Harcourt, reconciles these figures with his imaginative construct.
I went to Bonny, I saw all the beautiful things, but that was not what I decided to talk about. I was shocked when I saw this community, and the first thing that came to my mind was this was a borderline, poverty juxtaposed against wealth and riches. The series is actually called Mami Water Monologue. Around here, growing up, one of the things you always hear is Mami Water and some of those things. So I tried to look at that within a contemporary setting. If the Mami Water were to be here today, what will it look like?
Timmy Willis Amaoh, who appraised from Yenegoa, reports on the scenic beauty, the people, and the exciting waterfront activities in Niger Delta.
This one is titled Lone Tree. It depicts the life of human when, as you're growing up, you are flourishing, bearing fruit. Later, you start withering. And it also, to me, tells the story of the region, a flourishing region, now with so much problem. This one is the Niger Bridge, the popular Onitsha bridge that everybody travel with. This is what I call Omongaro. The image is from my nativity, Nembe. You know, the Nembe people are known for strong, the history of the King Koko, what the British people call the Akasa raid, and what we will call the Akasa War. It depicts the kind of boats, the war canoe they used for that war. And they have an annual event, festival, in commemoration of the King Koko festival. The King Koko, the man that took the war to the British people. This image is titled Mangrove Child. It's a typical Niger Delta children, what you encounter when you go into the creeks of the Niger Delta. Bare-bodied children running, crisscrossing between one boat to the other. And these children have been able to conquer the environment. They say that this is a walk in Yenegua where they come to pick up materials, food items, products from the city into the hinterland with the boat they made by the local boats.
This group of 5 talented photographers go by the name Full Stop Collective. They titled their exhibition Circles of Encounter. It is their attempt to rebrand the Niger Delta region.
The idea about the group is artists based in the Niger Delta using their talent, photography, as a tool to rebrand the stigmatization of the region. We want to show the beauty of the place as against the agitation and the violent people know the place about. The environment is a peaceful environment.
In Edo State, like the rate of kidnapping, armed robbery, everything has reduced drastically.
I'm a proud Urubo man. Niger Delta is a beautiful place. For me, we have good landscapes, we have good beaches, we have good places to visit tourists. In fact, Nigeria as a whole is missing one economical value of Niger Delta.
There are images of the Niger Delta showing how hardworking they are.
This visual panorama helps us to come to terms with the new realities in the Niger Delta area. Welcome back. At the beginning of this show, I told you we're here to inspire you, and I hope we've achieved that. My crew and I want to say a big thank you to you for making our time to watch Art and Leisure today. The program will be back, same time, same station, next week, God willing. My name is Chioma Okpara. Please visit our website, www.artandleisure.com.ng. Love yourself, love Nigeria.